how gorgeous, how beautiful, how wonderful. And so when I go to Florida, went to Florida in December, I'm writing a new story, right? I don't know how it's going to come about, but I go to Florida, and they said, oh, we don't have you in a Hampton Inn. We have a home for you. And they put me in a penthouse that is a staged, multi-million-dollar home that has everything in it, and that's where I'm going to stay while I do the work. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Now, I created that. I created that by my focus. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to go to a Hampton, nothing wrong with Hampton Inns, by the way, but I'm going to go to a Hampton Inn, and I'm going to have their breakfast, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and it's going to be 10 miles from the beach. I didn't even put out for that. I just focused on the beauty of a beautiful place. So I wrote a new story. I wrote that my family heals, that we get along great, that Christmas is wonderful, that everything works out well for me. I wrote a new story. As I wrote a new story, I began to see it. I began to feel it. People came up to me and said, something's different about you. Something's different. I came from a place of said, I'm going to be doing more service work, more service work, more service work. And as soon as I got that, David has somebody call me, a lady by the name of Greta, and I'm doing a speaking engagement for a group of women who does the dressing for success for those that can't afford it. And we're talking the people who have no clothes, and we're doing a benefit for them. It's like I started doing more service work. The service work opened up. The service work is like, I get to do this, I don't get paid for it, it doesn't matter, I'm giving, I'm giving, I'm giving. So we want you to start to write a new story. What's your story? Reverend Ken over there wrote a new story. He has a church in Buckhead, the Spiritual Living Center of Buckhead. He wrote a new story. He wrote that he wanted to do a Sunday service. He wrote the kind of church service he wanted. He wanted it to be more in a place of spirituality than religiosity. He wrote a new story. The first time I went to the church there, he filled the place. He filled the place. And he's building this new story. I believe that Reverend Kratz put this church together. Isn't this a magnificent church? This is absolutely magnificent. What does that say about his consciousness? When you want to know what's going on with somebody, look at the lifestyle they're living. Look at what's going on in their life. If it's not where you want to be, then you got to change what? You don't put a for sale sign up. You don't start moving around. You start changing in here, and it'll change out there. And sometimes it changes so fast that you can't even keep up with it. It does, doesn't it? It just changes. So I want you all to start to write in your scripting book. I want to see hands of how many are already scripting. Great, good. Keep the scripting up. Now, I had a woman that came to my class the other day, and she said, you have to be in a spiritual place, and you have to